Bernie Sanders went on Morning Joe, and he made an argument that has the establishment baffled about who his voters will be. So he said the following, quote, "There are more than a few Republicans for Bernie Sanders out there. Don't be surprised if we do well with a number of Republicans. I think the message that we are bringing forth, that we have got to come together to say Wall Street and corporate America cannot continue to dominate our political and economic life, that we need an economy that works for working families and not just the 1%. A lot of Republicans will respond to that as well." Yeah. Now, again, the establishment response to this is something along the lines of, "Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's adorable. Little shaggy Bernie with his messed up hair thinks he's going to get Republicans." So they don't believe it. Very simply put, they don't believe it. Now, one can excuse the establishment for falling into the trap of being establishment douchebags, but the reality is, I think Bernie is absolutely correct. And I'm not just saying that because I like Bernie Sanders. I'm saying that for issues-related reasons. So to get specific here, when you poll the American people, the majority of Republicans say, don't cut education spending, don't cut Medicare, don't cut Medicaid, don't cut Social Security, raise taxes on the rich, do universal background checks for gun purchases, raise the minimum wage. There are a number of issues where a majority of Republicans and a majority of Democrats agree, where an overwhelming majority of the American people agree. And the only guy in the race who's representing those positions and standing up and arguing for them is Bernie Sanders. So as long as they're not so deep in that right-wing bubble that just the name Bernie Sanders turns them off, you know, just the fact that he's described himself as a social democrat or a democratic socialist, if that doesn't turn them off, as long as they listen to what the fuck he's saying, a lot of them are going to vote for him. Now, as Bernie laid out himself when he gave a speech at, I think it was Liberty University or something like that, some Christian right-wing university, he said, okay, guys, bottom line is we're not going to agree on everything, and that's okay. And he went down a list of things. One of those things is just social issues in general, whether it's gay marriage, even though a majority of young Republicans are now for it, or whether it's abortion. There's a number of issues where, yeah, there's genuine differences, and that's fine. But in terms of very important economic issues, he's not just representing liberals. He's representing the American people, and he's representing a majority of Republicans. Bernie's the only guy who's standing up and arguing for protectionism. Now, protectionism is a dirty word that you're not allowed to be in favor of that anymore in the mainstream. You have to always, in all circumstances, be in favor of so-called free trade. But Bernie Sanders is one of the guys who says, no more of these so-called free trade deals, because in reality, they're just outsourcing deals, and they're hurting America. I mean, the only other person who comes even somewhat close to Bernie's position on this, believe it or not, is Donald Trump. And he's one of those guys who, he's a blind squirrel who finds an acorn every once in a while. He's a broken clock that's right twice a day. But Bernie's been making this argument for decades now. I mean, he stood up, he fought against NAFTA, you go down the list. He's written articles against the World Trade Organization and against GATT. He's totally against the TPP. And he does it because he cares about the middle class. And you don't have to be a liberal to see that he cares about America and he cares about the middle class. So is it possible that a guy like Bernie Sanders would get a significant chunk of the Republican vote? I say yes. And the establishment might scoff, and they might laugh, and they might mock us, but they're doing a surface analysis. Oh, his name is Bernie Sanders. Oh, he's a social democrat. Oh, he's a Jew atheist. Oh, nobody's going to like him. But remember, if you just listen to what Bernie's saying, he'll swing some voters. Because he actually cares about economic issues. He actually cares about the American people. And that's a nonpartisan thing. People can get on board with that.